Now, Shalom, Jake, Shalom. They're saying that this hurricane literally on a map, it literally just looked like it's a demon. It looked like a smudge with an eye on a map. And he's saying it's nothing short of astronomical. And it's extremely dangerous. Terrifying imagery reveals the might of Hurricane Milton. And we already know what's getting ready to go down. I didn't sleep that well. I feel as though this grade just be mass destruction. Okay, they're saying now, I don't know what this 89.7 millibar pressure mean, but they're saying that it has winds of 150 miles max, sustained wind gust of 200 plus miles per hour. And they're saying it's one of the most strongest hurricanes in history. But I think they said it went down to a Cat 4 before it hit, and it may go down to a Cat 3 before it really makes landfall. Now they're already starting to get the outer bands and stuff. But hey, I've been to Tampa. That's like low land right there. Even with a Cat 3, a lot of that's gonna flood. Okay? So yeah, I'm gonna show you something because there's a lady, she said something that was uncanny. Alright, and I'm gonna let you hear it for yourself, and then I'm gonna show you something. Because I didn't even realize this. Florida officials are telling residents who don't evacuate to write their names on themselves so their bodies can be identified. Well, in this situation, a lot of people, they probably ain't gonna be found. They probably be washed out to sea, washed out to the into the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know, but you know how how I get down. Remember what he did to Pharaoh and them? He said he drowned them in the sea and broke their chariots up on the bottom of the ground. Right? Exodus 15 verse 3. This is the NIV. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. 15 verse 4. Pharaoh's chariots and his army he has hurled into the sea. The best of Pharaoh's officers are drowned in the Red Sea. Exodus 15 verse 5. The deep waters have covered them. They sank to the depths like a stone. Your right hand, Lord, was majestic in power. Your right hand, Lord, shattered the enemy. And it's the NLT. Your right hand, O Lord, is glorious in power. Your right hand, O Lord, smashes the enemy. Let's get into this, and we're going to talk on this Hurricane Milton. Barakatah Hawa, Barakatah Hawashah, Barakatah Hawa, Barakatah Hawashah, Barakatah Hawa, Barakatah Hawashah. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh, Bashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. I believe those are the prophets. Shalom and salutation to those that teach the likewise doctrine. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua. Shalom to the scattered Israelites across the four corners of the earth. May the Most High bless you and your household. Alright, now they're telling people now, write your name on your body. Alright, pretty much you got to make a dog tag and write it on yourself. Okay? We're going to go and play it. And I'm going to show you some things.
Try and do as much as they can until tomorrow. And he had a message. It's the same message we're hearing from people, from leaders across the state. If you stay, they cannot get you. They were able to do some water rescues in Helene. That will not happen with Milton.
You hear that? They ain't coming for you. You stay, you die. They ain't coming for you. Now, if Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah wants you to live, It doesn't matter what happened. Okay? You gonna live. You know, with the Most High, all things are possible. We're gonna rewind that back.
State, if you stay, they cannot get you. They were able to do some water rescues in Helene. That will not happen with Milton. Once the wind...
You hear that? They ain't coming, Jake. They not coming. And you know a lot of us can't swim. You see? So don't be out there playing with this. Okay? And I pray that the Most High protect the brothers over there, and really all the brothers, because the times are getting tumultuous, right? Let's go and let this finish playing.
Winds, which are forecasted to start here at tropical storm force gust, once they start tomorrow at around 8 a.m., he expects that by noon they're going to have to evacuate the island themselves. So starting at noon tomorrow, if you're here, there will not be help coming for you.
You hear that? By noon. Right now it's 7:20. By noon, you got to evacuate yourself, or at least try to get to the third or fourth floor of a building. Okay? But it may be too late. It's going to let this finish playing.
You are on your own, and he's made that very clear. It's that same message we're hearing from officials. Write your name, write your number, write someone else's number, your date of birth on you, because when they come looking for you, they want to know who to contact because you decided to stay.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? We're going to rewind it back.
Hearing from officials, write your name, write your number, write someone else's number, your date of birth on you, because when they come looking for you, they want to know who to contact because you decided to stay.
You see that? And he had to pause for a minute. Because, hey, like we said, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is visiting the earth which he made. You see that? 2 Corinthians 5 verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh, and our trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. Hey, this get ready to shake up a lot of Jake's consciousness. All the stuff that you seeing going on. People consciousness, even us who believe, our consciousness is shook, right? And like I said, I could barely sleep because I was thinking about this hurricane all night. And you know, I live way up in central PA in the mountains. And they say the mountains normally don't get hit like that. Well, when my power went out, a twister came through and tore down all the trees on the side of where I live at. Okay, and our power went out. I thought the glass was going to bust out of our windows. That's how much the wind was blowing. So ain't nowhere safe. The only place you safe at is with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Let's get back to that. We're going to let that finish playing.
Yeah, Paul, that is a somber message that we are hearing from folks. Paul Murphy, live for us on Anna Maria Island. We appreciate the update.
So, yeah, you see that things are happening now. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he's letting people know, look, I'm on the scene now. Okay? He visiting the earth which he made. Now, I'm going to show you something. This video, if it get copyrighted, I'll take it down. It's not my video. But we seen this young lady before. Let me show you. Now, this is Celeste. She had an April 1st, 2023 dream, allegedly from the Most High. Now, we know it say dreams can lift up fools. But one thing I do notice about her, she do keep her head covered. Right? And, hey, remember, the Most High, he can deal with anyone. Now, as far as prophets, we know that the prophets are the men. Right? And we know that normally a prophetess is a wife of a prophet. Okay? She'll tell you what she's saying, and then you'll filter through the scriptures, and you'll put it down on wax. Right? So, as far, I normally really don't listen to her, but you know how the YT algorithms is. So they send her videos to me sometimes. Or sometimes she say some uncanny things. Right? Now, as far as the scriptures, of course, she ain't on the level of Jake's, okay? Because, like we said, hey, the prophecies and everything, they're normally broken down by the men. Actually, let me get a scripture right quick. Ezekiel 34 verse 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord, their God, am with them, and they that even the house of Israel are my people, said the Lord Yahweh. Ezekiel 34 verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, said the Lord Yahweh. All right. Now I want you to hear what she said, okay? And you tell me what you think. We're going to get some scriptures, and I'm going to tell you why I'm playing this after she finished saying what she got to say. And this lady from Star Trek, she got an accent. It sounds like she from Africa. I had a wild experience yesterday at work. Guy from Africa walked up to me because he told me he was from Ghana. We started talking. He said, yeah, you know, you guys are the Jews. He said, you guys are the real Jews. And he went into detail. He broke down how Mali, Burkina Faso. He just walked up to me, right? We was talking about some things when he walked up to me, but then somehow he got into that. He said Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana. He said 2 other nations. He said all of them was part of Negro land. Yeah, this guy was from Africa. He totally went into it. Man, I wish I would have remembered. I think he might have said Togo, but I could be wrong. I should have wrote it down. That was on me, Jake. Forgive me for that. But he said, yeah, we know a lot of the Jews that went through the door no return in West Africa. He said, yeah, we know y'all Jews. And he pretty much was saying, because he's from Ghana, he said, I'm a Jew too. He kind of didn't say it like that, but he said that he knew that he was the people. I'm actually going to do something on that, right? But we're going to let this play. And she said something real uncanny, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about after I show you.
Of our videos, I landed on this video. I was like, it has like something like 74,000 views, 74,000 views, I think. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, like this is happening right now. And she prophesied about this last year, 2013, around April. Yeah, around April 2013 last year. And I was like, I need to share this video with, my subscribers. Like this video has 74,000.
I'm going to have to speed it up the way she started talking, right? But sometimes on here on Star Trek, she going to some of the history. Because Jake waking up everywhere, all right?
They're not easy for me to hear.
Warning. Hurricane Milton has now become one of the most dangerous storms in history, reaching Category 5 status with sustained winds of...
Remember that date, April 1st.
180 miles per hour.
It is a graphic prophecy because it contains descriptions of how people will die here when the Lord's natural disasters begin to hit this nation. These things are not easy for me to see. They're not easy for me to handle. That's the reason I am not a hysterical female. Today's prophecy was received April the 1st, 2020.
Remember April 1st.
And the title is The Floods Are Coming. But before I read that, the Lord gave me a brief message as I was preparing the camera, doing my prayers and getting ready. April the 2nd, 2023. I will batter this nation until it is weakened, and then I will tip it over. Tropical storms, hurricanes, flooding, extreme rainfall, tornadoes, earthquakes, fault lines. That means shearing, when the earth tears suddenly along a weakened spot and it moves suddenly out of its place, so that you have 2 tilted areas where one is high and one is low, and it has ripped, and everything that was on a flat surface falls into the tear. Extremes of heat and cold. This means terrible summers and terrible winters, and volcanic eruptions. This is the dream I had on April the 1st, 2023. I was in a very heavy sleep and I was seeing quite a few things. And the Lord only told me to discuss one of those things, and that is the coming of natural disasters to the United States. The first thing that God was saying is that he was talking about 2 states in the United States that have displeased him greatly, because he said that they have separated from the union. They might not have done it openly. They may not have done it in a way that we've seen it in the news. But if we look at articles that have come out in the last 3 years, we cannot deny that these 2 states have completely extricated themselves from holistic U.S. life, and they have formed them for themselves islands, and it displeased God. I felt the displeasure and the unhappiness of God.
Now remember, she just spoke about islands. What I just let you hear, he told the people on the island, if they don't get off, they on their own. Okay? I just played it for you. They on their own. That's the 8. Let's let it keep playing. Now, we know that the Most High, he sent angels to speak to these Jake and Eve through dreams. The scripture's in there. Okay, somebody could put it in a comment section, right? He said he'll in the latter days he's going to speak to us through dreams. I have a lot of dreams myself, right? And I told you I had a dream that chariots was doing this. The chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah was doing a lot of this. Yeah, you got geoengineered, you got all that. But yeah, a lot of this was being amplified by these chariots, right? Let's let this finish playing.
God in this prophecy that these 2 states had pulled themselves out, taken themselves out, and decided, I don't want to be a part of this. We want to be separate. We want to be unto ourselves. And so he was talking to me about them and about the judgments that would come to them and the judgments that would come to all of America. And so the first place that God started talking about was Florida. Florida will have extreme storms, hurricanes, and water disasters. Florida will suffer floods and storms and water disasters like extreme flooding and sinkholes. So extreme flooding is when it rains and rains and rains and rains and rains and rains and rains until the drainages are full, all the catchment areas are full, the bayous are full, the lakes are full, the sea is full, and still it's raining, and there's nowhere for the rain to go. And if anyone is thinking of Noah at this moment,
and I'm gonna hit you with something. And the scriptures say that the waters came from the depths, literally up under the ground. The water was busting up under the ground, right? Now remember, they just found a new ocean that's bigger than all the oceans known combined. Right here, under the other oceans. Okay? Let's let her finish speaking.
You're thinking along the right lines, because as God was showing me, the kind of flooding that is going to come to Florida literally looked to me in my sleep like Noah flooding, because God says that he is going to rain on Florida until the rain from above is too much and until it sinks into the ground and the water table. This means the place that water sinks and filters down into groundwater, reservoir water, the kind of water you can only reach with a borehole or a well. That is going to fill right up. And I hope that I can do justice to explaining what I saw. So,
well, I have to get a scripture. I have to. Genesis 7 verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. We're going to read that again. The same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up. All right. Now we know they just found another ocean bigger than all the oceans combined. Okay, so we don't really know how deep the great deep really goes. Okay, and hey, that may be where Leviathan is at. Okay, and the windows of the heavens were open. Let's go back to her video.
sinkholes. A sinkhole is well. That is going to fill right up, and I hope that I can do justice to explaining what I saw. So, Florida will have flooding and sinkholes. A sinkhole is where it has rained a lot, but also perhaps structural changes in the ground. These things can't really be excellently explained, or maybe it's just me that doesn't know about them in depth. Sinkholes occur when the ground literally, as it did in the days of Moses, just opens up and swallows whatever
Remember, she spoke on Moses. Let's keep going.
is on top of it. A sinkhole can open and swallow an entire house. It can open in your driveway, even though there's cement. The ground underneath will weaken and fall away, and then everything else that is resting on the ground, like the cement coating, will crack and fall away, and you get a massive hole. And they have videos like this on YouTube, and the worst one I've ever seen in my life is a mailman, either a mailman or an Amazon delivery man, was coming up to a door to deliver a package, and a sinkhole opened up, and that poor man went into the hole. And these things can be tens of feet, 60, 70, or hundreds of feet deep. They literally open up into the cavernous earth, and it's impossible to get people out. It is next to impossible to get.
Hey, and remember what happened? Who was that came against Moses? Let me get it. And the earth opened up and swallowed him, right? Oh, man. Look, all the advertised. Look at this. Hold on, Jake. This again, forgive me for that. Numbers 16, verse 32. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that pertained unto Korah, and all their goods. You see that? The Most High had you swallowed up by the earth. You see? Let's let her finish talking. I'm gonna show you why I brought this up.
Whatever object falls into that hole out. And so the Lord says that this flooding and these sinkholes are going to be caused by extreme weakness of the ground after it is exposed to hundreds of hours. This means weeks, basically, of unrelenting rainfall. And this will be the judgment of the Lord. Florida is going to be battered by storms, the likes of which we have never seen before. Category 5 storms and higher, because the time of judgments have come to the nations, and chief of them, America herself. Hear the word of the Lord. And so I was talking about the kind of flooding that I saw in Florida, and it was like Florida was like this, right? Like a piece of land, a thick piece of land like this. And the rain came down. So the rain was unrelenting. The rain that I was seeing, it was just falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. And like I said, after a while, rain has nowhere to go. It runs off into lakes, rivers, streams, the bayous, the swamps, all the Everglades. It goes everywhere that it can, and it's running over a developed nation. So it's running over these streets, and it's going into the drainages, and eventually the drainages are full, and everywhere that man lives is full, and the sea is full. But what I saw happening from the ground is that the ground was also getting water. So whatever the reserves are, the reservoirs under the earth were also filling up and filling up. And then the brown earth under there was beginning to look like it had pockets of blue. So wherever the water table is supposed to go, it didn't stay there. It now began to rise up as if coming to the surface of the land. And this is exactly what happened in the days of Noah. The sea has funnels under it, and they were open. So they began to act like jacuzzi jets, and the windows of heaven were open. So this means
And I had a similar dream where as though we had to flee to the 3rd floor. And the water was so powerful. And this was a dream, but it was a flooding in Baltimore when I lived in Baltimore City. And the harbor got flooded, but it flooded so bad that in this dream that it was like when the water rose to the 3rd floor, and I was on the 3rd floor, the water started smashing the building up, and all I could see was the ocean. That's how high it rose. It looked like I was literally in the midst of a stormy ocean. And that's when I woke up. I'm going to let her finish talking. I'm going to show you why I'm bringing this up.
torrent of rainfall was coming down, not the normal pitter patter or even strong Amazon jungle kind of rainfall. It was water sheeting from above and water gushing from below. And that is how God managed to fill up the bathtub of this earth and take sinful man away. And that is what I saw happening in Florida. The ground was filled with water and it came all the way up and assisted the surface flooding that was happening. And then I began to see people walking in distress, terrible loss of property, everything that you have in the house completely destroyed because of the type of flooding. And God says Florida is going to get hit, battered is the word he used, by storms that are category 5 and higher. Now, as far as I know, we don't have anything higher than category 5, but when nature gets involved, then God is the one who will set the remaining numbers, 6, 9, 15, things that we have not marked before. And he says that this is a sure judgment coming. Florida is an island unto itself, the Lord says. Florida is like a different country with its own religion and flag, and I will judge them for it. Florida will have hundreds of hours of rainfall until the ground slumps and collapses under the weight of so much water falling from heaven, as well as rising under the water table. The water table will rise under many nations. So God says that Florida is an island unto itself, a different country with its own religion, its own flag. And what I was seeing is, I don't know if it will come.
And they practice a lot of, forgive me, Jake. I just woke up not too long ago. A lot of voodoo, brujeria. What's that one called? Is it called hoodoo? Yeah, voodoo, hoodoo, all that different stuff, right?
Up later. What I was seeing, let me just cover it here, is that in Florida, the religion is freedom, the religion is guns, and the religion is Donald Trump. So that is the picture that God was showing me in my dream. I was seeing people all mogged out with all the gear, holding their guns, hanging out on. There are these strange boats in Florida that are not really boats because they're not shaped.
She talking about pontoons. So I'm going to jump in and out. It's almost done, Jake. But remember, I did a video also on that dream I had about Trump. I seen him come out of doing heaven and 6 evil spirits entered him. You had to ask me for that to repost it. But, yeah. And he was full of power. Okay? Let's let this finish playing.
Like a boat. They are shaped like a flat raft and they are mechanized and they ride in the swamps and people go on them to hunt alligators and things like that. I don't know what that boat is called. I once knew the name, but it's not coming to me right now. It's a very flat boat and it rides in the bayou. So I saw them on these flat boats with beers and stuff hanging out, and I saw people at the beaches, and I just saw people living their best life, and I saw what I will describe at the end of this video, which is just basically idolatry of Donald Trump. The problem with America is that when any word comes that tells America that she is in idolatry, the response is never, you know what, I'm going to go home and pray about it and ask God to search my heart. The response is always, who are you to tell us? And he's God's man and everything. And this is why when the Lord judges your idols, please don't come back to this channel and say that I spoke against him or I cursed him, because you would only have gotten what you deserved. And what is it that you deserved? In the Bible, traditionally, all people who raise up an idol of any sort, first of all, they get judged. Second of all, the idol is judged in front of them. Third, they cry, and then they are punished further by God. So this is what the Lord was showing me. Florida, with its religion of freedom, guns, and Trump. And he said that he is going to judge them for it. American states will experience severe flooding. And another of these states that God showed me was Texas. Texas will experience landslides and mudslides caused by excessive rainfall.
Now, when I used to live in Texas, they had a real bad rain one season where as though the dams was breaking. And you can ask one of the jakes that live in Dallas. This probably is about 7 or 8 years ago when I used to live in Texas. And yeah, they had a real bad rain, and Lake Texoma kept flooding. Um, uh, the Guadalupe River in San Antonio, that flooded and drowned a bunch of people. The roads was collapsing. It was real bad. And I was one time I was coming back from Tennessee with my family, and they got what's called service roads or frontage roads. And it was a bridge, and you had to go across the bridge, but the water was so high, the bridge was the same level as the water. I had to literally slam on brakes, turn around, because lucky it was really no traffic out, and get away from the bridge. I had to go back up on the main road since it was high and get off the side road. Because if I'd have tried to drive on that bridge, me and my family, we probably wouldn't even made it. And you're going to have a lot of this going on. You're going to have a lot of reports coming out of Tampa if Hurricane Milton hit. A lot of people just ain't going to make it. People stuck in lines, can't get gas, stuck on the road. They saying more than half of the pumps or the gas stations are empty. There's a lot of madness going on down there right now. That's why I say pray for the brothers, right? But I believe the Most High is going to protect them. You know, let's let this finish playing.
Rainfall that I saw is the kind of rainfall that fools you. It's a light rainfall that starts all of a sudden in the afternoon and you think it's a shower. But then it strengthens to excessive rainfall that goes on for weeks and weeks without rest. The Lord said, the ground will become weak. The ground will become unstable. The ground will fail to maintain integrity. And there will be landslides and mudslides in America as there have been in the rest of the world.
Now, I'm going to hold it right there, Jake. I'll put this down in the description box if anybody want to listen to it. But I'm going to show you why I brought this up. Remember this April 1st, 2023, when she said she had that dream? Let me show you something. Acts 2 verse 17, and it shall come to pass in the last days, said Yahweh, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Call her Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Now watch this. See how she kept talking about Milton at April 1st? Watch this. Another Jake did something on this. Governor John Milton. You know this man? You know how she talking about they got their own separate spirit? Remember this man, he said he would rather commit suicide than and stay separate from the Union instead of joining them. A lot of that spirit still goes on down in Florida. Jay can't go to certain parts of Florida even to this day. You know that man allegedly committed suicide on April 1st? Now I'm going to show you something else. It's an ancient picture of John Horse. Did you know that John Horse was known as and remember he fled Florida. Let me get the information right. Now we all know that he was a so-called black Seminole. Which all of them are Jakes, boy, I tell you. Boy, these people, hey, this is why this man has got to be taken out of power. Did you know that John Horse, because I did something on it last year. It was called the Underground Railroad to Mexico. Chief John Horse was known as the Moses of the Seminoles. He was a black Seminole leader who fought for and won freedom and land for his people. And John Claude Anderson has been in a lawsuit worth trillions of dollars against these people in Florida. Did you know that John Horse and them, they fled from this is how you had the Underground Railroad to Mexico. I did something on it last year. Did you know that John Horse, a lot of his people, because we know a lot of them went up to Oklahoma, but you know they had a Underground Railroad that went from Florida to Texas, and that's how they got into Mexico. So see, when she say that she seen something, remember, Florida and Texas to this day, Texas then separated from the Union several times and started their own thing. Okay? And Florida, a lot of southern states right now, they're talking about breaking away from the Union. But it doesn't matter because all of them going to get their judgment regardless. Right? Like I said, Milton, he committed suicide on April 1st. And she had that dream on April 1st. So yeah, that's some things I noticed about it. I'm gonna let her say a few more words. Then I'm gonna get like one or two more scriptures, then I'm gonna shut it down, Jake.
Landslides that collapse houses, neighborhoods, and entire apartment buildings that will all fall into the hole created when the ground suddenly gives way because of material weakness caused by water. So what I saw in Texas is landslides and mudslides. And if I'm honest, the only landslides and mudslides that I've ever seen are landslides and mudslides in places like India and Indonesia and places like that. These devastating slumps that happen where an entire hillside will suddenly let go, and all those tons of rocks and mud will come down and just slop over a village at the bottom. And it's so many tons. Half the hillside gives way, that kind of thing.
And you know what's crazy about that? Remember they had that tsunami over in India where was it close to 250,000 people was unalived? So yeah, you're going to see a lot of that here in Babylon. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out to the family. She spoke on Moses. John Hostel was actually known as Moses of the Seminoles. And she spoke on Milton and had that on April 1st. And this man unalived himself on April 1st. Get a scripture and leave it there, Jake. Nahum 1 verse 2. Yahweh is jealous and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in a whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Call Halal, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. I'll see you again real soon, Jake. Shalom.
At noon tomorrow, if you're here, there will not be help coming for you. You are on your own, and he's made that very clear.